Yeah, he and his team were excellent tonight.
Yeah, I agreed with him. I thought they were the better team, but for a 15-minute period in the first half, towards the end of the first half when Chelsea scored. Other than that, I thought Brighton were perhaps the better team, did more with the ball when they had it, looked more of a threat in the final third, defended well when they had to, which wasn't a lot, and they were the more creative team, I thought.
I thought it was interesting listening to him say, you know, the duel with Lukaku, him and Burns was something he obviously was looking forward to. It not played against him before. Showed a lot of respect to him there. But like, if you're going to be a striker, a centre forward striker, that's got the capabilities of Lukaku, and you're not going to get service, and even when you do, it doesn't stick, and you can't, and the ball's not going to be coming in for you to actually cause problems. You're going to have easy days like that, because that was an easy day for him. Because for me, he was man of the match simply with the amount of time he had. Came out of defence well. Obviously, we saw him score his goal. But like, he won't have many more easy days than that in the Premier League.
And what of his goal? Should he have had the space afforded to him?
Well, from a Brighton point of view, it was superbly well worked because they're all on the same page. They all know what's happening. If you have a look at him here, Webster, look at him. Just giving the signal, and there's the other signal as well, who's taking the corner, and watch where they go to. So that zonal marking is now no good. And Wrighty was looking at Mount, there it is, who if he just takes 2 or 3 steps to his right-hand side, then he clears that. But that is superb, off the training ground, worked to perfection, difficult to pick up, and all you need on it now is you need the right delivery and you need the right connection, and that's exactly what it was.
You know something, it's like, people underestimate how much you work on those in training, to the point where you think, oh, okay, yes, we get it, but what they done there was elite, simply because the delivery has to be perfect. They've obviously seen Chelsea maybe doing a zonal. There's no one really picking anyone up. Doesn't seem very organised from Chelsea's point of view. So if you've got very good movement and then you've got great delivery, look at like the middle of the goal where you want that ball. He's not had to jump to it. He's literally, look, he's just running onto it. That should not be happening.
But if you're Byrne and Webster, from where they've come from, and then from a defensive point of view, it's very, very difficult to watch the ball when that's in flight, and then you've got the 2 giants
behind them,
Webster and Byrne, who are coming in behind you, and they've got their eye on the ball. They're watching it all the time. They've lost their men who are meant to be blocking them, and it's all about getting the connection on the ball in now, and Webster did it perfectly. It was such a well-worked goal.
And should they have added to it? They had a couple of sniffs when Mopé came on, Wrighty.
Yeah, you know, he's a striker that we've seen him. I know he's got his 7 goals this season, but we've seen him, you know, some great finishes. But for me, that one, it's come quickly at you. But as a striker, I know he's come off the bench. He might be a little bit, but the fact, you're waiting for that half chance, because that's all you're going to get against Chelsea. You're going to get a half chance. For me, again with that one, when the balls come to him, there's nothing more you should be doing than bursting yourself to get something on it. At least, you've got to be at least stretching for it. You know, I don't know what he's expecting there. The ball's not going to come to him. Like, he's got to make that happen. He's got to burst into that box to get that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they are 2 very, very good positions that Brighton found themselves in. Worked it well to get into that final third. The ball comes across, albeit there might be quick balls across, but you've got to sort your feet out.
Yes.
The problem is that he's not expecting it. By the time he realises it's coming, it's too late. If he thinks a split second quicker and expects that ball to come into him, then he can sort his feet out quicker.
You know the thing with that as well, how you say he's not expecting it. When you're in the 6-yard box, you've got to expect everything. You've got to expect everything. I thought that he was on his heels, because the way he tried to finish it, he tried to kind of hook it in from there. You've got to be on your toes in there. He's in a 6-yard box, someone's about to cross it. You've got to be able to react to go somewhere. You don't know where it's going to go. In the end, he's on his heels trying to flick it in like that. It was, for me, it's poor from the centre forward.
And that was the time when they scored. They were piling the pressure on. I know they'd just come on as substitutes, but you've got to be ready, and the manager brings you on to make an impact. But we're used to seeing that with Brighton. Got great attitude, play some lovely football. Everyone knows what they're doing. They're all in sync, but they just miss that killer instinct in the 6-yard box to put those little tap-ins, because that really was a tap-in.
Let's go back to the first half. It came from nowhere, the Ziyech goal. But there's so much to talk about here. The goalkeeper, and then, as you both pointed out, Chelsea's celebration or perhaps lack of them afterwards.
Yeah, like Al mentioned, it was out of the blue for us, because we're thinking up from here. You think, oh, what's happening there? From where he is, the angle, where it's beaten, there's not a lot of movement, like Al pointed out, from the centre forwards, from the strike. This is what's Chelsea all day. And so once Ziyech's done, this is just like a speculative shot.
And right, you watch the three of them in the box when he scores. Look, just when the ball hits the back of the net, have a look at Lukaku, have a look at Hudson-Odoi, have a look at Kante when the ball hits the back of the net, and their lack of celebration, lack of reaction. They walk back towards him. Look, heads down, there's nothing in it. I mean, bearing in mind you work all week to score goals, and you've just scored the opening goal in the game there, and I was really surprised. And that tells me, I don't need any more evidence, that tells me that there's an issue in that Chelsea dressing room.
Yeah. Especially when we see as well, and when you can see that they're kind of having a debate there. Then we saw Lukaku and Ziyech having a debate. They were going into the dressing room having a debate. They came out, they were still talking. There's just a lot going on. And when you look at the way they're playing, you know what I mean? There's no cohesion in that team. It doesn't look like there's things knitting together. It seems to be very disjointed. Even the goal, speculative. It wasn't very well worked. It was just like, because there's not a lot of movement from the front men. You know, like midfield players are looking up. They're not really seeing any movement. I don't know what's going on with Chelsea at the minute.
We highlighted before the game, didn't we, about the lack of forward pass from the midfielders into Lukaku or into whoever that may be, and that certainly happened on a few occasions in this game. So what happens is that when you don't get a pass, and you don't get the next pass, and then you stop running. You stop running.
Subconsciously.
Absolutely. So you just think, what's the point?
It's not coming.
I'm actually not going to get the ball, so what is the point of me actually making runs here? That ball should be fizzed in to Lukaku's feet. What's his strength? His strength is getting the ball into his feet. So if it's not coming, you just say, what's the point of me running anymore? Because you're not feeding me. You're not giving me the ammunition. And this is exactly the same thing what's happening. I mean, Hudson-Odoi, I thought he had a really poor game this evening. You're looking for some energy, you're looking for a burst of pace to go past the defender, and it never happened, right? Did it?
Well, look at this is a perfect opportunity. You've got look at Lukaku. You see with his arms up in the air. Hudson-Odoi, in that instance, he's got a runner outside him. He's onside. Lukaku's in the box. You play to the runner. He gets it in. Lukaku might get his goal. All of a sudden, Chelsea get themselves going. His decision there to stop, come back and pass it all the way back. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Thomas Tuchel clearly couldn't either with that shot there with his assistant.
No, but it's his job to sort it out, because we can see it happening on the pitch. We saw it on Saturday against Manchester City. We've seen it again tonight with Brighton. It's not a happy camp, and that is one of the reasons. No doubt about it.
OK, and what we have seen is Chelsea drop points again, and from leading positions. So here is the Chelsea boss, Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas, you knew it was going to be a tough night. It proved to be the case. What did you make of the performance?
We look tired, no? And we are. And it's like this. We knew they were well prepared. We knew they had more time, less games to prepare this match. And you see in the end, the reaction of the whistle. Stadium celebrates like a victory. That's what you face, and we need also our full strength to overcome these obstacles. In the moment is difficult, so no blame for the team. We tried everything, but you can see that we're mentally tired.
You're mentally and physically tired?
Yeah, for sure. Look at our schedule.
How do you get across that then?
We need some days off. We have now 2 days off, and then we have 2 days to prepare the next match at home against Tottenham, and then the boys need some days off. There's no other solution.
The goal helped a little bit for a while. The Ziyech goal, a surprise shot, a bit of power. Lifted you for a little while.
Yeah, and of course you can survive with this goal. I mean, this is we can play a clean sheet, but we were under pressure, but it's also normal. I did not see many teams, like I said before, to control Brighton over 90 minutes. it is normal that they play brave and they bring people to your box and create chances. Should have, of course, if you can maybe take a chance, a half chance for a second goal, you can go out and win. This is what we normally would be up to, but in the moment it's difficult to be too harsh on our players, because I know what's going on.
Yeah, Hakim didn't celebrate the goal. He kind of gave it a bit of strut, kind of I could show you what I can do. It seemed like an angry response to the criticism he'd had.
Well, hopefully.
You want
good.
that?
Yeah, happy. He can score 20 more and not celebrate. I have no problem.
But him and Lukaku having a conversation pretty much through the game at half time as well. Are they trying to work something out there? Is there something?
Hope as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's normal that they talk. It's normal that they're not happy.
Yeah.
And it's normal that they don't like it if we say that we want more from them. It's normal. But I think, like, even in the reaction of the goal, you can see that we're tired. We are relieved that we have a goal, but it's not like it's not the pure joy, because we are like saving energy even there. This is my feeling of the moment and of the team right now.
Thank you, Thomas.
Welcome.
There you go, Alan. You've got your head down, but you've got your explanation from Tuchel. They didn't celebrate because they were tired.
Don't accept that. I'm not having that. I get it's been a tough time for every football club in the world. They've all had very difficult circumstances, as has everyone, not just football. But he's got a bench tonight that's worth £220 million. Kovacic, Havertz, Werner, Pulisic.
And Salnigas, who's on
Left Mount out on Saturday, brought Mount back in tonight. That performance, certainly going forward, is not a tired performance. That performance going forward was a team that's really struggling on confidence. And I'm not sure that they're all on the same page. That's, for me, why it was a poor performance. I know they've played more games than anyone else in the league, certainly. They've had a tough time over Christmas. But if you keep telling players that they're tired and they can't play the amount of games, they're eventually going to believe you. And that's all that we hear nowadays, is that, I mean, you can't have sympathy for a football club like Chelsea when they say, effectively what he's saying is he hasn't got enough players. What about the likes of Norwich and Burnley and Brighton and Newcastle and all of these teams that have got squads much less quality, much smaller, a lot less ability than Chelsea have? It doesn't wash sometimes, no.
I think with me, with the tired one, it's simply, it doesn't matter how tired you may be. You start a game with the quality that they've got, you start the game a lot quicker than that. I could see, even if they run out of legs, then you've got, like Al's mentioned, the bench. But you cannot tell me you start a game. He actually said that even the way they celebrated, they were tired. I can't have the tired one, simply because you should be able to, with your quality, at least match Brighton for their intensity. And then if you're then you take players off or whatever. But you've got to start quicker than that. You've got players not moving, making space for other players, no sharp movement, people not passing the ball into front men and stuff like that. That's not tiredness. That's just them not. They're not at it. They need to do more. If they have 2 days off, I don't think that they're going to play any better than that if something's not sorted with them, because there's not enough movement and not progression of the ball for Chelsea, for them to hurt people. And when they do get in a position to cross the ball, they don't cross it. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, Thomas Tuchel just said the only solution is to have 2 days off.
Well, they might have 2 days off, but they still might have an issue at the weekend if they don't improve their attitude. Because I don't see a lot of tiredness. I see a lot of attitudes and not good attitudes. And I see players flinging their arms up. Well, you should have passed to me. Well, you should have done it earlier. Or you should have made the run. I see a lot of players making excuses rather than trying to solve the problems that they have.
And he was alluding to the conversation that you noticed, Alan, between Ziyech and Lukaku in particular.
Yeah, he was saying that, they're having a conversation with each other. That's good, that's fine. Yeah, but that's good if you start to then make sure that you do pass it to him, you do get the ball into him, because otherwise it turns into something that's going to fester. Because like we say, we saw how Ziyech reacted when he scored. There was no reaction. I have never, ever, even in training, scored a goal and reacted like that when we know there's no one there and it's just in training. That is what we're playing for.
I don't know the appearances, but I know Lukaku hasn't played a lot of football. I know Ziyech hasn't played or started as many games as he would want. He left Mount out. He's got all those options on the bench. So for me, no, it doesn't work. The tiredness.
Not washing the tiredness. He's got to get more out of that team. That's a team, Steve.
Yeah.
We both tipped to win this league.
Yeah.
Because of the personnel they've got.
And people will say, oh, that's 4 league games without a win. Of course it is, and that's the worst spell of Thomas Tuchel's Premier League career. But when you look at the points dropped, there you go. It's incredible. Compare the first 10, and they've now dropped points in 9 of their last 13 games.
Well, this is the thing where ideally you want that reverse, didn't you? Because we're going into a time of the season where you need to. Chelsea have to go to Brighton and win. We're looking at Manchester City, they're 13 points clear or whatever of their nearest rival and flying. Chelsea have to come here and whatever they do, they can't not win this game because City will not drop points now. City are now looking at this and thinking, oh, they've dropped points. It makes it even easier for them, gives them even more confidence. Chelsea are not putting them under the kind of pressure. What we've seen from Liverpool is a team that, yes, we saw Brentford go there, cause them problems, but Liverpool get the job done. Chelsea have to go to these places and get the job done. At the moment, I cannot see that from them. Can't see that from Chelsea.
No, that's right. I mean, their second half performance sort of summed up their performance in the last 2 or 3 months. They had a very good start, solid at the back. Then Lukaku got injured, didn't really miss him, played some good football. But the last 13, 14 games, they've been poor at it defensively. And certainly in the evidence of the last few games going forward has been a real issue for them. They've obviously got problems because of what happened with Lukaku. You don't give an interview like that if everything's rosy and happy in the dressing room. Yeah. And they're now proving that with their performances. Again on Saturday and again tonight, a lack of movement, lack of cohesion, a lack of understanding from when to go past a player, when to pass up the ball, when to cross the ball. There's none of that, certainly not in the last few games.